Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to our digital marketing webinar. My name is Martha. I am from Seoul Startups. Seoul Startups is the biggest international startup community here in Korea. We have over 1,000 members and growing. We generally are a community of entrepreneurs, of people related to the startup ecosystem, and we're working together to create a global startup scene here in Korea. And one of the initiatives that we want to be involved in is helping our members scale up, learn new skills, develop their skills. And that's why we've been running a series of mentorship programs, as well as now in the digital form of webinars, where experts from our community share their knowledge, their know-how, and their skills. I will leave the links to Seoul Startups later on in the chat room, so don't worry. And in the meantime, without further ado, I would like to introduce JK. JK runs a very successful marketing agency here in Korea that for over 10 years, 12 years, for a long time. And he's been successfully helping companies digitalize and market their products here on the local startups, not only startups, on the local market. And today he'll be sharing his experiences, his insights, and what he has learned while using various marketing tools here in Korea, and how you can use those tools to market and promote your products and services here. So thank you, JK, for joining us, and the scene is yours.
Okay, thank you, Marta, and Jose, and other community leaders at Seoul Startups. And thank you, everybody, for joining this webinar. Please feel free to leave a message anytime if you have a question. We will also do a Q&A session at the end of this webinar. If you want to introduce yourself in the chat, please feel free to. It also helps me to know what I should talk about and maybe what you are interested in. So then I will start sharing my screen now. Can you see my screen? Okay. So this is about digital marketing in Korea. These are some of our customers. So most of our customers are in tourism, e-commerce, high tech, and also education. So this is going to be the contents of this webinar. Why should you use digital marketing? Pay-per-click, also known as search engine advertising. We're going to talk about search engine optimization and social media marketing and mobile, mostly KakaoTalk, how to optimize your conversions, B2B marketing, and online shopping. So why should you use digital marketing? So these are like top 10 of the reasons that's why you should use digital marketing. First of all, it's very efficient because you can track results. So for example, if people see an ad, they click on the ad, they go to your website, they fill in the contact form, you can see how people found your website through this ad. You can see which platform they used. You can see which device they used, where they came from, which city, what time they did this. So that makes digital marketing very effective. Also, you can start a campaign from $5 with Facebook ads or Google ads. And if the ads are working, you can scale it and to an unlimited amount of number of websites or ad platforms. So it's very scalable. Like I said, it's measurable. You can see, oh, I'm getting this much traffic from Google. I'm getting this much traffic from Naver. from Facebook. So that's very helpful. And you can do very precise targeting. For example, I want to target people in Seoul that are living in Gangnam, that are between 18 and 22 years old. I want to target people who are using iPhone. I want to use people, I want to target people who like tennis or soccer or anything. Also, many people, they do online research before they buy anything. So they want to read reviews, they want to see comparisons. So that's why it's very important to promote your products where people do research. Well, everybody knows that almost everybody is using social media. You can reach more people anywhere. Like if you want to reach people in Busan or Jeju-do or Seoul or other countries, that's very convenient and easy to do with digital marketing. If it's like, I mean, this is compared to traditional advertising, like newspaper or TV or radio. So that's what the difference is between digital marketing and traditional advertising. Well, of course, you can connect with mobile users. You can use different platforms. And nowadays, markets have become more competitive. Like if you want to be successful as a startup, for example, it's probably a good idea to focus on a niche, like a small part of a market, instead of, you cannot, nowadays, people cannot compete with like big companies like Samsung or LG or Hyundai or Coca-Cola. So nowadays, if you're an entrepreneur, it's probably better to focus on a very small market niche. I'm assuming there's no questions. If there's a question, please feel free to interrupt. So this is a survey, and they were seeing which tactics for digital marketing are the most effective. So you can see social media, content marketing, SEO, and other forms of digital marketing are very effective. I cannot see the messages when I'm in full screen. So if somebody's sending a message, please let me know. So this is research done by Google, and according to this research, small companies that are online, that have websites, that do online marketing, and are using social media as a company, they're more likely to have revenue growth, like almost 3 times more likely. And also in my kind of experience, the companies that are very active online, that have a Facebook page, have like Instagram profiles, they're usually more successful. So we're going to talk about search engine advertising. For people who don't know what this is, I'm just going to show you an ad in Google. So this is an ad. This is what we're talking about with PPC, pay-per-click. So if I would click this ad, Nike would pay to
Hold up.
Google.
JK, we don't. You have to switch the screen that you're sharing, because you're only sharing right now the PPT. So you have to switch it to sharing. I assume your web browser.
Okay. Can you see the screen? The Google?
Yes, we can right now.
Okay.
And also, there's a request for you to speak a little bit louder.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So this is an ad in Google from Nike. So if I would click this ad, Nike would pay to Google because I'm clicking and I want to see their website. This is how Google makes most of their money. So you could say Google is not a search engine, but they are like an advertising platform. It's the same with Facebook. It's the same with Instagram and LinkedIn and other big companies, media companies. They're not really search engines or portals. They're like advertising companies. So this is what we, when we say PPC or search engine advertising, this is what we're talking about. You could do the same thing for Naver. So this is brand search ads in Naver. So if I would click this, then Adidas, in this case, would be paying money to Naver. So this is how Naver is making money. And for Google, this is like 90% of their revenue or profit. So it's a very, very high amount of money. Is this sound okay now? Volume?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it's good. It's good right now. Oh,
Okay.
and we have a question.
Okay,
How
what's the
do you
question?
how do you decide to use Google or Naver to promote your products?
Okay, so it depends. Where is your audience? Where are your customers or potential customers? So if you're a Korean company and you want to reach Korean customers, then you would probably have to use Naver and Daum and KakaoTalk. But you also want to use Google and Facebook because some people, they're using Google and not Naver. If you're a Western company and you want to have Western customers from Europe or United States, then it's probably a good idea to use Google, and there's no need to use Naver. But we'll talk about audience targeting. We'll talk about it more later. So you can see the Korean search engine market here. This source is Nielsen Korea Click. There are many graphs about the market share in Korea. And some of them, they say Naver has 90% market share. Some of them, they say they have 70% market share. I think it's a little bit less. I think it's more like 60 to maybe 60%. Anyway, so you can see Naver has a lot of traffic from desktop and mobile. And Google has, according to this source, the second biggest search engine in Korea, and Daum is the third biggest search engine. So Google here has a lot of traffic from mobile because on Android, the default browser is Google. So I think that's why their market share on mobile is very high. Also, in Korea, my experience is that mostly young people, they use Google, and more older people, they use Naver and Daum. And Daum can be good for like tourism and for like sports. If you want to reach people who are in tourism or in sports, then Daum could be a very good platform for advertising. So this is the Naver search engine results page, SERP, SERP. So you can see there's ads here, blog here, and shopping here in the green. So you could say Naver is not really a search engine, but more like a portal, like Yahoo, because they mix all these results in their page. Also, for every search query, the search engine results page can be different. Also, it's different between desktop and mobile. So sometimes here there's a cafe, or there is news, or there can be other things. Sometimes there's no shopping. So for every search query, this search engine results page can be different. So another important thing of PPC is keywords. Keywords are not only important for PPC, but also for SEO and even social media. So there's many different keywords. So for example, if you are interested in tomato plants, if you would want to advertise for tomato plants, you will get a lot of impressions. Many people will see your ad, but not many people will click. CTR, click-through rate, will be very low, and maybe the cost will be very high. So if you want to do advertising, then maybe it's a better idea to advertise on long tail keywords. Long tail means many syllables, many words, and low impressions. So maybe not many people will see this ad, but they're more likely to click. So they're more relevant. So that's called this phenomenon is called the long tail. And there's a book about this. It's called The Long Tail. And this is one of the phenomenons why Amazon is very popular and very successful, because they have many, many books like that not many people are reading, but they still want to buy these books. And Amazon is very often the only provider that is offering these books. So this is another important aspect of pay-per-click advertising, like search engine advertising. Some keywords they convert, and some keywords they don't convert. With conversion, what we mean is when they click your ad, they go to your website and they leave a contact form, or they sign up for a newsletter, or they call you, or they send you an email. That's what it's called a conversion, or they buy something. That's what's called a conversion. So you can have keywords, for example, which is informational. And this keyword is, for example, what is a startup? Or what is a tomato plant? Or so people who use these keywords, they're not likely to buy, or they're not likely to engage with you as a company. But if people say, buy tennis shoe or buy Nike shoe, those people are very likely to buy something from your website, or at least follow your page, or send you an email, or visit your website later. So there's a difference between keywords. Some keywords are good for conversion, and some keywords are not good for conversion. If there's not any question, I will go to the next subject, SEO.
Oh, actually, we do have a question. What program do you use to track what keywords are popular to optimize website and search engine?
Okay, so if it's Korean keywords, you want to use Naver keyword tool. If it's English or any other language, you can use Google Keywords, Google Keyword Planner. You can also use Ahrefs as an SEO tool, SEMrush, also SEO tool. You can use keywordtool.io. Actually, Google Keyword Planner is not so good to find many keywords. It's only good for finding keywords that are good for advertising. So if you want to look for keywords that are good for SEO, you might want to use Ahrefs or Moz or SEMrush. Actually, in here there is, see, there's a slide with all tools. Later, I will share this presentation so you can download. But here, there's many tools for keywords like Google Keyword Planner, Keywords Everywhere, SEMrush, Ahrefs, Moz. So yeah.
So there's just another question that came in. Hello?
Yeah, what's the question?
Oh, sorry, I accidentally muted myself. How about Naver keyword tool? Do you use this too?
Yes, for Korean keywords, we use Korean Keyword Planner. But sometimes they don't give a lot of keywords. So we also use Google Keyword Planner for Korean keywords. And sometimes we also use other tools like Moz or Ahrefs or SEMrush.
Okay, no more questions.
Okay, all right. So then we will go to SEO, search engine optimization. So what is SEO? Basically, SEO is ranking in search engines, like ranking first page or ranking first result. So let's go back to Google. So, so here, this is the first result, first organic result. So Nike didn't pay anybody to be the first result for the keyword Nike. So Google just thought, oh, this is a very relevant website for this query, so we'll put this number 1. And then we'll put this one number 2, Twitter, Facebook number 3, number 4. So if you want to do SEO, you want to rank higher in search engines. It's the same for Naver. So this is all ads, and then this is shopping, and this is a website. So if you want to do SEO, you want to rank high here organically, not by paying money. So there's techniques how you can do that. So we'll talk about that. So basically, there's 3 kinds of SEO. So one is technical SEO, on-page SEO, and off-page SEO. So technical SEO is things like site speed or meta tags, like website, like your CMS, content management system. If you're using WordPress or Shopify or HubSpot, all those things are important for technical SEO. Like how fast does your website load? If it doesn't load fast, then maybe you will get its disadvantages for your website for SEO. On-page SEO is like content, like blog posts or ebooks or other content on your website. You can also optimize those for search engines. And then there's off-page SEO, which is like link building. You want other websites to link to your website. The more websites link to your website, the more important Google or Naver thinks your website is, and they will rank you higher in the search engines. So how can you rank higher in Naver or Google? So we talked about keywords, like keywords that people are using to find your website. If I type Nike, I want to probably go to the Nike website, or I want to see Nike shoes. So if your company is about tennis shoes, then your website needs to be about tennis shoes, and then so that's what search intent means. Also, what's important for your website is that you show expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. It's called EAT. So you can do this by showing your expertise, like having a lot of blog posts that shows that you're knowledgeable about the topic that you're writing about. Authority, like you have reviews, for example, or people say that you're an authority. Trustworthiness. So, for example, there's secure websites like HTTPS. That means it's a secure website. It's very difficult to hack, and it's very difficult to steal information. So if you have a HTTPS secure website, it can make you rank higher. And if you don't have HTTPS, then maybe you will rank lower. Backlinks. So there's a difference here between Google and Naver. So you can buy backlinks, but it's not recommended. So if you buy a lot of backlinks, you can get a penalty from Google. With Naver, it's not so much. It's a small chance that you will get a penalty. But with Google, if they find out that you bought links for other people to link to your websites, then it's very risky, and it's very likely that you will get a penalty from Google, and they will put you down in the search engine results page. Another aspect of SEO, it's not a hard science. People are trying to figure out the Google algorithm, but it's very difficult to figure out the Google algorithm because they don't publish like how their algorithm is working. So people have to guess. So if you have like a SEO guru, don't follow them blindly because they don't really know what they're doing either. So if you want to do SEO, you have to do a lot of testing because this guru is saying that something and another guru is saying something else, but maybe none of them are speaking the truth. So it's very, very important that you do testing for yourself.
So kind of tapping into that, we have a question here. What is backlinks?
Okay, so backlink is, I'll show you. So for example, let's go here. So this is a website, and you can see these hyperlinks, right? These are links. If I click this link, I will go to NamoWiki Nike, a different web page. So this is called a hyperlink. This is a backlink. This is a link from NamoWiki Adidas to NamoWiki Nike. So yeah, that's a backlink, very simple.
And we just got another question, which is, can you explain more about the triangular chart in the previous page?
Okay. So you mean that one? You mean this one?
I think no. I think that the earlier one with
This one?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah, the reverse
so,
triangle.
okay.
There was also a question whether the nav means navigation.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so I will give more examples. So informational keywords. So this is like keywords, different kinds of keywords. So informational is like what is the age of Bill Gates, or which university did Bill Gates go to? So those are for information, not for buying. Research is similar, like what is Google, or what is Naver? And purchase is like buy coffee or buy anything. So purchase, because navigation is like a website address, like google.com. Actually, many people, well, maybe not Google, but when they type into a website in Google, they will type nike.com if they want to go to Nike, instead of typing it in the address. Actually, those keywords are very high conversion rate because they really want to do something on that website. And you could say this is like the volume. So that's why this is wide and this is narrow, because there's many who, what, where, why keywords, but not.
Let me interrupt you. So they're asking about it. So the type of keywords, I assume it's the type of keywords that's important for this.
Yes. So, okay, so you don't want to advertise on what is coffee, but you want to advertise on keywords like buy coffee. Does that make sense?
So we have another question. I do hope so. It makes sense to me. So we have another question. Can one contribute to this lecture, like elaborate or answer on some of the questions? Yes, yes, you can. Guys can answer questions in the chat room as well. Add any insight and opinions that you have there. Caring is sharing, or sharing is caring. Okay, JK, the stage is yours again. Sorry about that.
No. Okay. So this is a little bit like technical SEO. So this is how search engines read your website. They are called meta tags, like title tag, meta tags, headings. So search engines, they are robots. They're not people. So robots, they read your website differently than people would. So robots, search engine robots, they look at titles, meta descriptions, and headings, images, and URL structure. That's what robots look like. And if your website is about tomatoes, then you should have tomatoes in your page title. So you can see that. So what's here, website grader? That's the title of this website. So if you're selling tomatoes, then you want to have tomato here on the in the title. Also in the descriptions, you want to have tomato. In the header, you want to have tomato. So this is like computer code that you use for your website. And this can help you rank higher in Naver or in SEO, in Naver or in Google. This is a tool that you can use. to rank higher in search engines, Google Search Console, and there's also like the Naver version, Naver Webmaster. You can use both to rank higher. Google Search Engine, Google Search Console is for free. Naver Webmaster is also for free. You can use it for free. So you need access to your website, and then you can see how people found your websites, the clicks that they used, how often you showed up in search engines, the click-through rate, the position in the search engine. So you can see here the keywords: SEO Spider, contextual link building. There's a lot of information in Search Console. It's very useful for SEO. Naver Webmaster also. Google Analytics also very essential for SEO. If you want to optimize your website, you can do so many things with Google Analytics. I know there's Naver Analytics, but Google Analytics gives you much more information than Naver Analytics. So some of the things that you can find in Google Analytics are the things here: sessions, source, medium, pages. So you can see how many people visited your websites, how they found your websites, if it was through Google or Naver or Facebook or any other website, how many pages that they visited. You can even see which button they clicked on your website, which country or city that they are from, your visitors, which language that they are using, how long they stayed on your website, like how long they stayed on your website. Like if people send you a contact form, you can see how they found you, if it was advertising or organic or social media, which browser they are using, and if it was desktop or mobile. So there's many things you can use with Google Analytics. Any question about SEO? If there's no question, I'll continue. So these are the social media apps that are most.
Take a question that did come in. Is there a big difference on set for Naver and Google for the SEO?
Difference between Naver and Google for SEO?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, there is many differences. So we'll go back to the browser. So here, so there's in Google, all of this can be manipulated if you want with SEO. So why this video is number 1, why this video number 2, why this video number 3? That's the Google algorithm. And you can kind of manipulate the Google algorithm if you want. But Google thinks that this video is the most relevant for people who are typing this keyword Nike in Google. Then most people, they like this video. So so that's the similarity between Naver and Google. But if you go to Naver, then it's very difficult to manipulate this position here, shop Adidas. Also, you cannot manipulate this position because this is advertising. This position you cannot manipulate because it's also advertising. Shopping. I mean, if you have a shop, Naver shop with Adidas products, you can show up here. But otherwise, you cannot rank. So if you want to rank in Naver organically, it's much more difficult actually than for Google. I mean, the rules are different, and there's less positions that you can compete for. So the competition is a little bit higher for these keywords because there's only 3 websites that they are showing. So then here there's kind of like Wikipedia, and then there's like a dictionary, and there's more ads, and then there's posts. So here is where you can rank organically. So this is probably like these are user-generated content. So somebody wrote this post. So you can write a post about Adidas, and then maybe you can rank here, but it's very competitive for these keywords. So So yeah, the rules are different. The algorithms of Facebook and sorry, Naver and Google are different. So if you want to optimize for Naver, you might have to look different platforms like blog or post or cafe. So it's different from Google because Google doesn't have blog or cafe or um, Q&A, for example, because Naver is also using Q&A. Yeah, does that make sense?
Hopefully so, but we do have another two questions actually. One is, so SEO is about how to rank something high on website. I think they mean browser, but website.
Right. Yeah.
And the second question is, an informational keyword will be like how to rank on Google, question mark. The search intent for this keyword is likely to find information, not to buy anything.
Right.
Oh, that was a comment. Okay, never mind. So the question was like, is SEO about ranking something high on the website?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Then we'll go to social media. How are we doing for time? Are we, we're like, okay, I have to speed up a little bit. So these are the most used social media platforms in Korea. So you can see KakaoTalk is #1, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Kakao Story. Kakao Story is used mostly by older people. Twitter, Facebook Messenger, Line, Twitch. Anyway, so but you probably already knew KakaoTalk is very popular in Korea. You can also do advertising, and I will explain later. So this is about psychographics. This is mostly about Facebook advertising, actually. So traditionally, you would target your audience, your customers, with demographics, like age, or like a family situation, or how much money they make, or where they live, and their profession. But nowadays, in Facebook and Instagram, for example, the advertising is psychographics. So what is psychographic? It means interest. So what am I interested in? I'm interested in marketing. I'm interested in startups. I'm interested in Korea. I'm interested in dogs. So if I'm interested in startups, marketing, dogs, and I don't know, internet, then many people who like these things, they also like, for example, pizza, or they like hot dogs. So that's how the Facebook algorithm works, and the Facebook advertising algorithm works. So you can target people by interest, because people who are interested in dogs, they're very similar. And if so this is how you can do targeting in Facebook. There's this movie or documentary in Netflix, The Great Hack. If you want to know more about this psychographics, you really have to watch this documentary. It's very, very interesting. And basically, this is how Trump got elected. Trump, when he was elected, he was in primaries, he was at the bottom. Nobody wanted to vote for Trump, but because he was doing Facebook advertising, it's very, very likely that this is the reason why he got elected as a president in the United States. And he was spending $1 million every day in Facebook ads. And probably that's the reason why he got elected. So if you want to do advertising in Facebook and in Instagram, you have to be very, very careful who you target with your audience. So we will now go to Facebook audience. I'll show you how to do that. So here, so you can do here audience insights. So so you can see here interest. So let's put in startup. Startup company. So you can see here, this is United States. So we're looking at people in United States who are interested in startups. So you can see here demographics, like their age and their gender. You can see their family status. You can see their education, and you can see like their job titles. So they're very likely to work in IT and this kind of things. Um, Also, they're more likely to like this kind of pages. Dollar Shave Club, Gary Vaynerchuk, um, Whole Foods. So, okay. Um, so if you want to reach people who are interested in startups, you have to think about what do they want? What do they like? How can I reach them? What's going on in their, I mean, how do they think? If you know what kind of people they are, it's easier to reach them, right? So you have to know what they are interested in. Also location, you can see where they live. So they're more likely to live in San Francisco, New York, and these cities. You can see their activity, like they like posts. They're more likely to use an iPhone. They're less likely to use a computer. And they're more likely to click ads. But always when I use this, people are always likely to click ads. If I was Facebook, I would say the same thing. So this is how you do Facebook audience targeting.
There have been a few questions in the meantime. So one of them, hold on, I have to see. One of them was about your SNS graph showing the percentage of SNS used in Korea. Yeah, on the brown one. And the question was whether there is a more recent one.
No.
And if Facebook is still on the third place or has it moved up or down?
I think if anything moved, then I think Instagram moved up because Instagram is almost as popular as Facebook now in Korea. And I think Kakao Story, they went down.
Okay. And the second question was, do a lot of companies in Korea use Facebook to do marketing? Not so many people seem to be using Facebook when I was in Korea.
Okay. I mean, it depends on your demographic. It depends on who is, like, maybe your friends, they're not using Facebook, and maybe other people are using Facebook. But you know, this graph, it's there's many different people who say different percentages. So, but in my experience, I think this one is very, very reliable.
Okay, I just wanted to add to everyone here, other than the chatting, you have the Q&A tab here as well at the bottom of your screen. So if you have questions for JK, please leave them there. Otherwise, your questions may get lost in the chat room and I might not pass them on. Thank you.
So this is about Naver social media, Naver social platforms. So Naver blog, Naver cafe, Naver Q&A, Shishikin. You can see, so this is one of our customers, and you can see the traffic from these channels, blog, cafe, Q&A. They are higher quality traffic than other sources like Google or Facebook or other channels. The bounce rate is lower, more pages per session, and higher session duration. So yeah, it's very important also to, if you want to reach Korean customers, to use Naver blog, to use Naver Cafe and Naver Q&A, if possible, and not just use advertising and maybe SEO, but also to be more social here. So this is kind of related to the other slides about social media. So you can see here, YouTube is very popular in terms of time spent. So people spend more time on YouTube than they spend time on KakaoTalk. So more people are using KakaoTalk, but people are spending more time on YouTube and maybe now Netflix. And YouTube is used by all ages in Korea, not just young people. Also, old people are using YouTube. If there's no questions, I will go to KakaoTalk.
No, we have no questions, so we can go on.
Okay, all right. So I think I'm just assuming everybody knows KakaoTalk in here.
Oh,
So,
hold on. I was too early to say that. So the question is, what do you think about TikTok?
TikTok. Okay, TikTok has some privacy issues. I mean, okay, Google has privacy issues, Naver has privacy issues, KakaoTalk has privacy issues, everybody has privacy issues, Zoom also. But TikTok, so people in social media, they say TikTok is very, very bad for your privacy. I mean, they give away everything they know about you, and they maybe sell your data. Google and Facebook, they do the same thing, but TikTok is worse, people say. Um, Personally, I don't use TikTok, but I think it could be very successful if you're targeting young people.
Okay. Answered.
Okay. So now we'll go to KakaoTalk. So as a company, if you're a company, what can you do in KakaoTalk? So this is the picture. That's a KakaoTalk company channel. So it's very similar to a Facebook page. You can chat with the page, but most of the time it's just automatic responses like robots. You can see feeds like posts with text and images and links. And there's like Q&A very often. And these companies, they can send messages to their friends. So yeah, you can also advertise to get followers. You can chat with your followers. If you don't want to use a chatbot, you can also do live chat, and you can do it, for example, every Monday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. if you don't want to chat all the time. Or you can do a 24-hour chat, but you need to have somebody to respond to messages all the time. FAQs. You can start a shopping channel, and people can gift or buy things on the channel. You can give away coupons. It's a very popular way to get followers or friends for your channel. And you can advertise in KakaoTalk. So this is again the company channel. So this is a feed and Q&A. So you can see info and frequently asked questions. If you want to do advertising in KakaoTalk, there's different ways to target to find your customers. So you can use a customer file. You can target friends. You can send messages to the people who follow your page. You can use a lookalike audience. You can use demographic like age or gender or city. And you can use persona, which is like interest, like psychographic targeting. That's it for KakaoTalk. If there's a question, then I can answer.
No, there was a question about Kakao shopping, but you answered it without me having to ask you.
Okay.
So
Right.
let's move on.
Okay. We'll talk about shopping a little bit later as well, actually. Anyway, so we'll talk about conversion optimization. So if you have a website or app, so you want to optimize for conversions. You want to get customers. You want people to buy stuff on your website. You want people to follow your page. You want people to send you emails. You want people to sign up for newsletter. That's all conversion optimization and landing page optimization. So landing page is basically your website. And there's different ways to optimize to get more responses from people who visit your websites. So that's with testimonials, with copywriting, with related offers, and with testing. So you can say, oh, I like this company, I like these websites, I like their products. So you can put that on your website. These customers, they like my products and they review my website and they have a positive review. So you can put those on your website. It's going to look good. It's going to look good to visitors. And copywriting, like some text, like how you write text is very important. How you formulate things is very important. And there's an example that's here. So there's two versions here of a landing page or contact form, version A, version B. So the left one, it has more conversions than the right one. So why is that? So there's many reasons why this one, the version A, is more successful than the version B. There's many reasons. So first of all, here, there's a call to action, get data center pricing. It is very active, like get or do or buy or hire or anything, like active voice. And this one just says cloud computing quote request. It's very passive. It's not a call to action. It doesn't make people move. It's just a very passive voice. Also, another reason is because of this logo here. And another reason is get a quote here in red. Very active and very eye-catching. And also, it has less fields. This one has too many fields. People don't like to fill in forms. They just want one or two fields if it's possible. So this one has less fields. So that's why this contact form is more successful than this contact form. So if you want to do testing on your website, like how can I increase traffic or how can I increase conversions, it's called A/B testing. You can also do this with advertising. So basically you have two pages of the same website or two ads for the same product, and then you test. So which page or which ad is doing better than the other one? So maybe version A has lower conversion rate than version B. So if B has a higher conversion rate, then you should use B for future website or future advertising. If you want to test your website, you can use this free software. It's called Hotjar. And it's like a heat map of your website. So where you can see where people click and even their mouse movement, you can see. So this part is very popular because it has many clicks, right? So this is a good website. The heat map is very good for this website. So because there's activity here next to your site, a little bit of activity, and here this part is also has activity. So yeah, so where people click and where people move, you want to have it on the top of your website. So for example, like more info or get in touch or buy or things like that, you need to have it on the top of your website. This is about conversion optimization. Is there any question?
So we have two questions, three questions now. So one is someone would like to hear a case study of a Kakao talk, which maybe we can do a little bit later, depending if you want to answer it now.
Well, what are the other questions?
The other one is how to use Hotier. I don't know if I'm pronouncing. And the next one, the last one is, where can I target Korean SME business owners? Do they use LinkedIn? Which professional social network is useful?
Okay, all right. Okay, so we'll start with Kakao Talk case study. So if you want to get more followers, for example, it's a very good idea to give away coupons, like discount for your product, because there's a special section in Kakao Talk with coupons, just for coupons. So you could say, for example, if you become my follower, then I will give you a coupon. And then this is a very effective way to get a lot of followers. And if you give away coupons like every month, then every month you will get more followers. And then another way is to do advertising. So those are the two most effective ways to get followers and traffic to your websites through KakaoTalk. And then Hotjar. So this is very simple. You install a piece of code, like HTML code, on your website from Hotjar, and then once you install it, you can just see the next day the clicks and the heat map from your website. And it will continue to gather information as people are visiting your website. And then how to target SME, like business owners. So you can use LinkedIn, of course. You can also use like this app for business cards. Remember. Yeah, you can do advertising in there. And but it really depends, like what kind of SMEs, like technology or social media or retail, or so I would try to figure out, because maybe they have a cafe or maybe they have a blog, like because there's a cafe for almost everything.
Yeah. And I would say, if I can add on to that, I would say, yes, LinkedIn more for the younger generation of SME business owners, Facebook more for the older generation. I see a lot of them do enjoy posting on Facebook. But I think at the end of the day in Korea, it's still somehow you have to get that personal connection with them.
Right. Yeah. There's one more thing about LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a pixel. A pixel is a retargeting code. Facebook also has retargeting pixel code. Quora also have retargeting code. KakaoTalk also have retargeting pixel codes. So LinkedIn is a little bit expensive for advertising. It's very difficult to find good conversions with LinkedIn. You need a very big budget, but you can lower your budget if you use retargeting pixel code from LinkedIn.
And the last one, oh, actually, we have another. We have someone is posting way too much questions. What is the retargeting pixel code? Two people are asking.
Okay. So there's this. Okay. So for example, so there's a slide about this in the presentation. Anyway, I will show you how this works very shortly. So for example, I type in Nike. I go to the Nike website. So I'm assuming that Nike has a pixel code on their website. So they know that I visited their website. So for example, now if I go to Facebook, if I would go to Facebook, they remember the Facebook page of Nike. They remember that I visit their website. So they see me on Facebook and they will show me an ad because I visit their website through cookie. That's what pixel retargeting is. So if you're wondering if you're in Facebook or in Instagram and you always see the ads from this company, it's because you maybe visited their website and you didn't delete your cookies.
Okay, and the last one was how to use the Hotjar.
Hotjar. I just explained a little bit. So you get HTML code from their website and you install it on your website. And then it will make recordings of people visiting your website. But you could just go to their website and you can see how to do it.
Okay, so if there's no other questions, let's move on.
Okay. So this is a little bit about B2B marketing. I'm sorry if it's not relevant for you. B2B is business to business. So if you're a company and you want to target companies like this SME if you want to reach Korean SME people, then that's B2B marketing, because you're a business and you're looking for a business. So how do you get leads? How do you get into touch with these people? So that's, for example, email or live events, like networking, like a conference, content marketing, SEO, PPC, social media, print, retargeting. So what is content marketing? Content marketing is like a blog. It's infographics, it's gated content like ebook or media kit or webinar, videos and podcasts. So this is how you can reach business people to buy from your business. So nowadays, ABM is very popular, account-based marketing. It means you want to target this company. So for example, you want to target this SME in Korea, and you're not looking at other companies, you just want to have this company as your customer. So let's say Nike, I want Nike to be my customer. I don't care about Adidas, I only want Nike. So that will be account-based marketing, and it's very popular right now. And I'm not going to talk too much about it, but this is basically the difference between traditional B2B marketing and account-based marketing. So lead magnets, this is related to content marketing. So if you want to make another company interested in your products or services, then things that you can do is like product demo, like videos, webinar, guides, and free consultation. Those are called lead magnets that you can have on your website, for example. If there's no question, I will go to online shopping.
No, there's no question. So,
okay,
let's rock and roll.
Okay, I think this is maybe the last part. I'm not sure, but there's more stuff at the end, like appendices. So as you may know, online shopping is very popular in Korea. You could say that online shopping rate in Korea is the highest in the world, especially now. With online food ordering, for example, that's online shopping. So in Korea, it's growing every year. Every year is good. It's getting bigger and bigger. You can use KakaoTalk shopping. You can use Naver shopping, Gmarket, Shipulbonga. So there's Coupang. So there's many ways to do online shopping. And in Korea, actually the majority of purchases is from mobile. So that's kind of interesting. And the online shopping now is a big part of traditional shopping. It's getting bigger and bigger. So what kind of products do people buy in Korea? So that can be travel, maybe now not so much. Electronic goods, clothes, food, like ordering food, like pizza or chicken, but also groceries, cosmetics, and other things. So this is an example of online shopping in Naver. So this is Naver shopping page, but they also incorporate results from WeMakePrice or Gmarket or Tmon, and maybe also Coupang and Shipulbonga. You can see results from there also in Naver shopping. So if you're selling something on Gmarket, then it's possible that you will also be shown in Naver shopping. But usually only Korean companies can do online shopping in Korea. So if you want to sell your products online in Korea, you need a Korean business registration and you need an e-commerce registration. So yeah, otherwise it's very, very difficult. So that's basically all of the slides that I prepared.
Okay, do you want to open the floor to Q&A, or do you have something more to add on?
No.
Nope. Okay, guys, so you can now, some people want to get in touch with you. We have one question here. Can you explain more about ABM?
Okay.
And in the meantime, guys, you can both ask questions in the Q&A, or you can raise your hand and I will let you speak. But you have to raise your hand. But in the meantime, can you explain more about ABM?
Okay, so I'll use an example. For example, like B2B software. So there's this company that is selling B2B software, which is like automating their, you can automate your tasks, like back office tasks, like HRM, and you can use Excel sheets, but you can also use machine learning programs to speed things up and make things more efficient. So this company wants to do ABM in Korea. So what they would do is, we don't care about reaching all of the markets. We are only interested in one company. So maybe LG CNS or other company like Accenture or whatever. So they, so for whatever reason, they only want to get into touch with this company and they want this company to become their customer, or they want to become a partner with this customer because LG CNS has a very good reputation in Korea. They have a very big network and they have a lot of customers. So if you make partner with LG CNS or Accenture, then that's basically the only thing you need to enter the Korean market, because they will be your reseller and they will be your partner. So they will help you promote your product in Korea.
Okay, guys, any questions? Raise your hand or ask away. I'll pass on the questions to JK, or JK will see them now because he also has. Okay, we do have a question. What is the process of ABM?
Well, I think that's just what I talked about.
I think so too. So I will ask a question to you, JK, because I am curious. Given the current situation, obviously coronavirus and all that stuff, do you see any changes in the digital marketing trends and strategies here in Korea?
Yes. So we have a few customers that are in tourism, like hotels or airline or spa or tickets, like train tickets or things like that. So yes, they are very much hurt with the coronavirus. So they want to pause their campaigns. So there's no activity there.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. That's life. I mean, things happen.
Yeah, I guess we just have to adjust, don't we? We have to, like, somehow the what was up until now is changing, and the reality will probably be completely different, and we just have to embrace it and become more flexible with everything that flows.
Right.
So there is a question on the opposite side: who is benefiting from the pandemic?
Okay. Well, there's many companies that are benefiting, like Zoom or Netflix or online gaming.
How about in Korea? Like some Korean companies?
I would say like pharmaceutical companies that are making the masks and the tests and the hand sanitizers.
Yeah, I would say also a lot of like remote related companies are remote tool companies that previously were kind of ignored here in Korea are actually picking up. A company that you might know actually, that company, it's called B Canvas, and they were doing remotely well. They're a remote whiteboard tool, but now within the last month they went like shooting up and they're doing tremendously well. So we have one question and one person is holding, actually two questions and one person is holding their hand up. I'll start with the person that's holding their hand up, if that's okay. So Rafi, here you go. You can speak now.
So I was thinking, JK, if you could tell me, right now in Korea, the Ninja is making a lot of profit, I guess. So what's your comment on that? Do you think they're doing really well? And the second question that I have is, I'm currently working on a food delivery app. What kind of strategy would you give me to say focus on the food industry, or get more customers to use my app?
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't really hear your first question, but I think your second question is about food
A delivery app.
delivery app.
And
Yes.
Okay.
Rafi, what was your first question? Because I didn't hear it either.
The first question was, what's your comment on paid image? Because you said on the other side, Netflix and Zoom is making they're doing very well in this pandemic. And in Korea, what do you think about paid image, or food delivery apps like Yo? How do
Okay,
you think
so
they're
so
doing right now?
so how are the food delivery apps doing in Korea and marketing for food delivery?
Hmm.
Okay, thank you, Rafi.
Okay. So, well, there's basically two apps in Korea for food delivery, which is Bedale Minjok and Yogio, and they recently announced that they would merge. The problem is that it's still pending because they have like 99% of the market share. So it's basically a monopoly. And recently, Bedale Minjok, they raised their prices for restaurants, and this is a very um, not good time to do this, and they actually reversed the decision, and they got some criticism from the FTC, the Fair Trade Commission, that is going to judge if this is if they're going to allow this merger or not. Actually, this kind of thing, it happened before with Gmarket and eBay. This is like 10 years ago, and eBay and Gmarket, they had like 88% of the market share for person-to-person commerce, and they still approved it. So you could argue that this is only because it's a very small market, like B2B person-to-person commerce. It's a very small market, and their market share was not that high. I mean, 88% compared to 99, it's still smaller. And maybe because the market is growing very fast. But if you look at delivery apps, it's maybe difficult now to enter because these guys, they have 99% of the market share, and it's a very competitive market, and the margins are very small. So I would say it's very competitive and very difficult to compete in that area.
Okay, thank you. So we have 4 questions right now. First one is, are there businesses in Korea that target the English-speaking market in Korea? How can an English-speaking digital agency work with them?
Okay. So I guess there's not that many companies that are targeting foreigners specifically. There's like Wonderful, which was known as Ask Ajuma, and there's like other companies, but I guess there's not that many companies that are only targeting foreigners. I'm not sure why, but I think Ask Ajuma or Wonderful is a very good example of a company that's successful targeting foreigners in Korea.
Okay, so that's that. Is it difficult for foreign companies to break into the Korean market?
Well,
Well,
yes, it can be very difficult, but it can also be very easy. It depends on your product. It depends on your competition. It depends on many, many things. But um, one thing about Korean consumers, I think, is generally that Korean consumers are very brand aware. They very much care about name recognition. If they don't know the brand, if they don't know your company, they'll be very hesitant to work with you or to buy your products.
okay, could you please talk about whether mid-sized B2B business owners software in Korea prefer to work with freelancers or DM firms? What's the preference?
Okay.
It's very specific.
I have to read this question again. I'm sorry. Mid-sized B2B business owners software in Korea. work with freelancers. You mean, but to do what? Marketing or production or and DM is like direct marketing?
Software, so I assume development, but so whoever, actually the person who asked this question raised their hand, so why don't we let him say what he wants to say. Hello.
Hi, Marta. Hi, JK. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can
hi.
hear you. If you can explain what you meant by your question, that would be awesome.
Yes, thanks a lot. So I run a small digital marketing firm from Bangalore, India, and I've worked with a few Korean companies previously. So my question was, for example, in India, typical mid-sized companies prefer to work with a small agency for the budget and for quick turnaround times. So my question was, for a digital marketing company targeting mid-sized companies in Korea, do they prefer to work with firms or with freelancers? Budget as well as what do you think? Does that clarify?
Yes, yes. Okay, so the digital marketing agency landscape in Korea, I guess, is a little bit different. So there's a few very, very big digital marketing agency firms, which are connected to LG and Hyundai and Samsung. So if you're a small-sized or medium-sized software agency, it's very difficult to hire them because they're very, very expensive. And then there's a bunch of medium or large-sized firms, and there's many, many, many small firms. So in Korea, there's a few very big small companies, and then there's a lot of freelancers, and there's not really a big amount of small and medium-sized enterprises. So if you want to hire an agency, you either have to hire a very big agency or a very small agency. So there's not much in between. So I guess that they would prefer to hire a small marketing agency, but there's not many freelancers that are doing digital marketing, I think.
No, I don't know about that. Well, maybe a few, but not more. I'm more designers than marketing, to be honest. So the next question is, can you share a case study of successful Korea digital marketing? I assume it means done by a foreign company or by a company owned by a foreigner.
Okay. Well, this is, I guess, I mean, is this like advertising or SEO or influencer marketing? Anyway, and what product?
How about your favorite case study, like your favorite successful Korea to be a case study?
Okay. Well, okay, this is going to sound a little bit weird, but this really depends on the audience, the product and the audience, because for every product, the audience is different. So what is their product? I mean, so what I'm trying to say is, if you want to sell something, you have to know your audience. Who are they? What do they want? How can you solve their problem? And if you know who your audience is, you will find a way to reach them and to engage with them. But it really depends who they are and what problem they have.
Any companies that you think that did that, like had a good read on the audience, like understood the Korean audience well?
Well, I really have to think. I have to think about it. I will try to come up with an answer.
Okay, we
later.
will skip this question for now, and let's go to the next question. Is it a good idea to start a B2B? I mean, reselling through online platform cosmetics products of a certain company in Romania, member state of the EU. I don't know how much you can say about Romania. Yeah. I don't know that much about Romania, and I'm in the EU.
Okay, so I am assuming that you want to buy products in Korea and sell them in Romania, or do you want to buy products in Romania and sell them in Korea?
I think it's the other way around. But so Christina asked this question. Christina, if you can clarify what you mean by this question, that would be great. Or if you raise your hand, we can give you a voice to speak up, and you can ask the question in person, and we can see what you mean exactly. So we'll skip that question for now as well. How is the TV advertisement in Korea nowadays?
Okay, I don't have a TV. I haven't watched TV. I haven't had a TV in more than 10 years. So only time I watch TV is when I'm in a restaurant or with friends or with family. But I only watch Netflix and YouTube. So, but in worldwide, advertising on online is increasing, and it's surpassing like traditional advertising on TV or radio or newspaper.
Yeah. I think people just watch the programs. They don't watch whatever is in between them. I haven't watched TV for a very long time here. Okay, so Christina came back and she met from Korea to Romania. Okay. So the question was, is it a good idea to start a B2B? I mean, reselling through online platform cosmetics products of a certain company from Korea to Romania.
Okay, well, you're not the only one doing that, I assume. But if you're the only one, yeah, I think you will have a good chance. But you know, it depends on your competitors. It depends on your market. It depends on your customers and suppliers. So there's many factors involved. But yeah, maybe it depends what your customers want. Is that what they want?
I would say, see what is the, if you can find the market, if it's specifically cosmetics you're talking about, see if there is a market for Korean cosmetics. Like, talk to the market, do a survey, like do a sample test, like go around, like talk to people, show it to them, get their opinions. And if you think you can get enough people to be buying from your online platform, and you can create a marketing strategy that is a good communication channel between you and your customers, then go for it. But again, it depends what sort of product it is. Okay. Yeah. So there is another question. Or do you want to go back to the successful case study, or do you want to go to the new question?
Yeah, I mean...
Actually, we have two questions. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go back to the, well, actually the Romania. And I think it's related to other things as well. So many small companies or freelancers or entrepreneurs. There's this book about this. It's from a professor at Harvard Business School. His name is Thales Teixeira, and he wrote a book. Actually, I forgot the name of the book. Anyway, he wrote about startups and why they fail. And other people also say they fail because there's no market need. People don't need their products. So if you want to succeed, you really have to have something that people want to buy. And like Marta said, you can find this out by doing surveys and finding out what people's problems have. So if you want to be successful, I think the best way is to see what problems people have and try to solve it.
Okay, so we answered that. So the question is, if you're not going back to the successful case study, the question is, for the first two, right, sort of easy question is how to rank high in Google SEO.
Okay, so I mean, Google SEO in United States or Korea, it's not much different. So the principles are the same because the algorithms is the same. Just the country is different. It really depends on your keywords. So which keyword do you want to rank for? Because every keyword has a different results page. So some keywords are very competitive and some keywords are not competitive. So if you want to know more about this, you can read the blog of Ahrefs and SEMrush. They are paid SEO tools, and they have a lot of knowledge about ranking in in Google for SEO. So it has to do with like meta tags and site speed and how well do you answer your question that the user has on your website. If they have a question, they type it into Google and you answer that question very well on your website, then you're likely to rank very high in Google. It's not different from United States or from Korea.
Okay, let's, we have 3 more questions, or actually 2.5 questions. So let's have these as the last ones, because it's been a long time that I've been sitting in this little booth. So the first question is going back to the successful case studies. The author actually came back and wanted to reward their question. And it is, can you share a successful case study of a foreign brand who uses or used multiple channels in Korea digital marketing?
Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'll be very honest. I don't like ads. I hate ads because most of the ads are very horrible and they waste my time and they're not good. And I think they're annoying. So when I use my browser, I have ad block, but only because I'm working in advertising. I unblock ads in Google and Naver and Facebook and other platforms that I advertise in. So if you want to be successful, you're creative. There's been a lot of research about this. You're creative, so that means the image and the text has to be very relevant to your audience. And that's why we've been talking about targeting an audience for a long time, because it has to connect. You have to connect your product with the audience, what they want and how you can solve their problem. So it doesn't really matter which product it is. If you connect with your audience because you did your research and because of your image and your text, then anybody can be successful anywhere with any kind of platform.
Okay, so the next question, okay, these are seriously the last questions, guys. So the next question is it true that the majority of Korean market like what's trending? They'll purchase something when it's popular and trending. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, well, at least a lot of the young people, at least.
Well, yeah, and older people also. I mean, this is kind of how KakaoTalk became very, very successful in Korea. I would say KakaoTalk has the best strategy. It's the most successful startup in Korea. And because of their product and because of their culture, their company culture, and maybe also their advertising, KakaoTalk is, yeah, definitely the best case study for becoming successful as a Korean company in Korea. But it's not just because people were using it and other people were using it, but also because it was a very good product and their messaging was very good and their culture and the values that the companies had. So yeah, that's why.
Okay, any tips for digital marketing for Generation X age group?
Okay, I'll just say a little bit more about the previous thing, that a company should have a story. Like, what is your story? What is your message? What is your vision? And what is your mission? That's very important. Also in the early stage. Why are you doing what you are doing? Because people will know through your messaging and through your employees. They will know what you want and why you want it. And they will know your message even without you saying it. So that's very, very important. And there's a slide about this in the presentation webinar, also about startups and about branding, telling a story. So it's in there. And Generation X, I guess that's people who are, I mean, how old is Generation X?
We are generation, no,
X?
we're not Generation X.
I'm like
we're all the millennials. We're all millennials.
So this is the people older than millennials, right?
Yeah. 35, 44, yeah.
Okay. So the platforms that they are using are Facebook and I guess LinkedIn and Quora. It really depends what your product is, because people who use this product maybe, okay, for example, cosmetics. if you're selling cosmetics, then you want to be on what's this called? Like this picture, Pinterest. But if you're selling software, you want to be on LinkedIn. So it really depends on your product.
Okay. The next question is, what are the key points to check when I do surveys? I have a solution people have wanted to solve. I think, oh, in a survey about a solution to a problem that people wanted to have solved. I assume that's what they meant.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'll go back to this book by Thales Teixeira. It's called Disrupting, it's called Unlocking Customer Value, Thales Teixeira. So what he says, people always say millennials are destroying pizza, or people are just millennials are destroying TV, right? Or it doesn't mean that millennials are changing. It means people's behaviors are changing. So right now, people's behaviors are changing. People are using Netflix. People are using Zoom. People are staying at home. People are using Slack. So that is disruptive change. Products are not changing, but people are changing. So because people are changing, other companies are getting a chance, like Slack or Zoom, and so that's a problem that people have, and that's a solution people have. So that's something that you. So if you see people around you having problems, then you want to interact with them. Like, what kind of problem is this? When did it happen? And how can I solve it? I think that's what you want to do.
Okay, and this will be really the last question because it's been a really long time. If you guys have any more questions, I left links to mine and JK LinkedIn, so you can find us there and just ask us questions there. The last question is from Ryan. If you have time, what do you think is the next big thing in digital marketing?
Okay. That's a good question. TikTok could be the next thing. I thought for a while that maybe blockchain would be the next thing, or maybe influencer marketing could be the next thing. But privacy could be also one of the new things. And maybe a platform that's going to replace Instagram and Facebook. I'm not sure. But something that's always going to be around is content marketing, like writing blog posts. And podcasts can be the next thing. But maybe the next thing is going to be webinar.
Exactly. I was going to say video content will be already is the biggest, pretty big, and I think it's going to grow even bigger here in Korea. Okay, guys, if you don't have any more questions, I would like to wrap this up. It's been over an hour and a half, so I think JK really went up and beyond to explain to you the basics of digital marketing here in Korea. Like mentioned, you have the links in the chat room where you can leave us messages. In the meantime, we will email you the recording of this whole webinar, as well as JK slides. So if you didn't catch everything, don't worry. There'll be opportunities to go over and see what you missed out. Thank you for joining us. It was really great having you all here. Thank you, JK, for your time and preparing such a wonderful presentation. I definitely learned a lot. And if any of you want to be part of our community where we share, we care, we support each other in these hard times, please go to seoulstartups.com and we will be there for you. And in the meantime, have a good night. Thank you, everyone, very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.